It's not like Biden's a foreign agent or anything. I've been talking about for 2 weeks now. We're warning you. So something happens yesterday, right? Don't worry, this isn't a TMI thing. It's related to the show. Jim always gets nervous. When Jim gets nervous, I say something happened yesterday. He's like, here we go. It's going to be some weird story. He probably shouldn't be telling anyone, but he's going to do it anyway. This is actually related to show content, which is a nice plus. So I do this show yesterday, and no kidding, man. When I'm done with the show, I'm exhausted. I just was. It's not whiny. I'm not a snowflake. I have the easiest job in the world. You all work for a living. I don't. This is not a real job. Okay, this is fake. It's not a real job. Jim has a real job, and Mike. I have a fake job. It's not a real job. I don't do anything, okay? I talk for a living, and I enjoy it. So it's not a job in the traditional sense. You all work for a living, so I don't want to sound snowflake. But yesterday's show, I put a ton of work into exposing how Hunter Biden, Joe Biden were related to the arrest of this FBI guy, and how this is a huge scandal. So the craziest thing happened. I'm done yesterday. It's 3 o'clock, and I'm sitting there, and I go down, I sit on the couch for a few minutes. No one's here because my wife goes and picks up my dog. Why am I like slurring my speech there? What the hell is wrong? I was not doing drugs before the show. Spit it out, dude. You talk like a normal person. So I'm sitting on my I'm sitting on my couch, and sure enough, a ton of texts and emails and Facebook messages start coming in about the show. From friends of mine in the FBI, friends of mine who were in the FBI, friends of mine in government, friends who know friends who know sources. And this one email comes in, and it's a great one. And in the email, the guy says, Dan, basically, you don't know me, I don't know you, but you nailed it. This whole thing with the FBI agent yesterday who was arrested, and they highlighted his ties to Trump's campaign manager, Paul Manafort, to make it seem like it was some kind of Trump scandal. They said you were absolutely right. This thing started as an investigation of Trump, and it turned into a Hunter Biden thing. A few points are in the email I thought I'd share with you today before I get into some more details on this, and a ton of other stuff we have to go through today, because I missed it yesterday. I was covering this one story. Here's what I'm hearing through kind of like the grapevine of sources shaking trees out there. The FBI was keenly interested in talking to this Russian oligarch, Oleg Deripaska. Now, they were interested in talking to Oleg Deripaska because they believed he was connected to Trump's campaign manager, Paul Manafort, which he was. They had a business relationship. Deripaska, this Russian oligarch, had been fishing around in the United States for years, maybe decades, trying to get sanctions and preferential treatment in the United States lifted. Okay, you copy? That's how we found Manafort. Manafort and him had this business fallout. Deripaska at that point thinks it's a good idea to get back at Manafort, right? So the FBI, sensing an opportunity because Manafort was Trump's campaign manager, moves in on Deripaska. You tracking? Thinking this is a perfect opportunity. Deripaska told Manafort, and Manafort told Deripaska, go blank yourself, see you later, buddy. They had a business fallout. The FBI's like, this is great. Deripaska's PO'd at Manafort. Let's move in. Let's work this Russian oligarch. Let's shake the trees. Let's get the tips, and we can take down Trump. What did I tell you? Everything in D.C., you must view the story through the lens of how does this help or hurt the war on Donald Trump. That's the only lens that matters in D.C. and the media. So what I'm hearing is, as they're working Deripaska for tips about Manafort, some other people Deripaska had hired or worked with in the past, lobbyists and others, to get them to dump the sanctions on Deripaska, that some other people had come forward who apparently did not have the greatest of relationships with Deripaska. I have some information for you, Daddy-O. And the FBI was like, no, that's okay. Leo gets stuff. Okay. They didn't want to hear that. Like, no, we're just looking for stuff on Trump. And these other people who had worked with Deripaska, who apparently were really annoyed about what the FBI was up to, were like, no, I've got other stuff for you. I've got like other things that Deripaska may have been up to and other people he was talking to. And the FBI, they got their fingers in their ears. They're like, you remember Vince Vaughn, old school earmuffs, when they were talking about stuff? Hey, I got a kid here. So the FBI's trying the Vince Vaughn earmuffs tactic to not hear anything else about anything else other than Trump because they just want to go get Trump. But now they find themselves in a pickle. Matter of fact, they find themselves in a jar of it. They don't know what to do. You got this jar of pickles they're stuck in, and they're like, holy crikeys, what the hell do we do now? Now we're getting information about stuff other than we wanted. Now keep in mind how sick this is. You're the FBI. Imagine you're investigating a kidnapping case across state lines in the FBI, and while investigating the case, you find out the kidnappers robbed the bank too. And you say, you know what? I really don't want to get into that bank robbery thing. It's really not my cup of tea. So we're just going to talk about the kidnapping. You're like, wow, bro, you guys do bank robbery. Like, that's your thing? No, not now. I got a lunch break. So let's just stick to the kidnapping. This is basically what happened. They didn't want to hear anything about anything. Deripaska's connection to Trump, but other people knew about Deripaska. And from what I'm hearing, that's how this link to the FBI agent, who I believe is linked to the Biden enterprise, that's how this happened. Someone came forward and said, hey, I know you're looking for information about Paul Manafort and Trump, but this guy Deripaska is connected to some other people too. Matter of fact, one of your guys he's connected to is in the FBI. And they were probably like, hey, it's okay, we don't need to hear that. They're like looking around to see if any cameras are recording the interview. They're like, no, it's good. We don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about that. It was probably a very uncomfortable moment. Reminds me when I was a kid in the bagel store. I was in a bagel store one time, and there's a bagel store next to my house, and I'm buying a bagel. And these internal affairs cops who were in the bagel, true story, they're in the bagel store, right? Because there were some allegations that the bagel store was giving away free donuts and coffee to cops. Like, well, what's wrong with that? You're not allowed to do it because it's seen as a way to, like, bribe or influence people. The bagel store, they thought they were just doing the right thing. You know what I mean? It was New York. And I'm in there, and they're talking to the owner of the bagel store, and I've been going, it was next door to my apartment, so I went in there, okay? The owner's like, Dad, talk to this guy. Like, we do the right thing by the cops, right? And he's giving me the wink. I think he means the right thing, like, yeah, they give away free stuff like bagels to cops. I don't realize he's trying to tell me, no, tell the cop they pay full price. So I'm like, the cop, I go, yeah, they never charge him here, ever. I see him all the time. They put down $5 for a cup of coffee and a bagel, they get 5 singles, man. And the guy's like, no, shh. Okay, he's doing Leo Getz. He's like, oh, no, he's just here, no, listen to him. That's just some idiot who lives next door. That really happened. That's what must have happened with the FBI, Leo Getz stuff. Come on. It's just, I get off the air, and I just wanted to take a few minutes, because I was mentally drained from having put that show together from 4 in the morning on, and having done it in podcast and radio. And now I feel rejuvenated today. I got some Z's, it's all good. But it's refreshing to have someone email me and confirm that Deripaska's apparently been throwing money around for a really long time to try to get him off this sanctions list he's on. And that a lot of people he's been doing business with were threatening to talk, and that's how this case happened. So, that's the intro. Now let's move on to some other stuff, because there's been some developments in the story, even since yesterday. Folks, it's now clear as day that the media swamp FBI Biden Inc. infrastructure conspired to sell access while in the country. We now know that. The Biden Inc. corruption is it's really hard to describe the temerity. Again, I say it all the time, the moose nuts they had to do what they did and try to get away with it. I think they were going to get away with it. It's stunning. So in that yesterday, just to kind of sum up where we are, that FBI agent McGonigal, who was arrested yesterday on allegations he was taking money from foreign governments to influence U.S. policy here, and to get people investigated, by the FBI and DOJ while he was an FBI agent. This is was a former Trump campaign aide who was also lobbying in the country of Albania against his best friend, the FBI agent's buddy, the Prime Minister of Albania, his new buddy. Wouldn't it be even crazy if the guy he was trying to get investigated and locked up, the bureau guy who's been indicted, wouldn't it be even crazier if they leaked the story to the media in advance to make it an attack on Donald Trump and they leaked it to one of the main PP tables. Wouldn't that be bananas? That looks like what happened. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. I tip my man Stephen McIntyre on Twitter at Climate Audit and his Twitter sleuths out there have done an amazing job. Marco Polo, Biden laptop emails, others. They did an amazing job sniffing out some additional activities yesterday. It was a tactical. This is what happens with you. You get so comfortable on radio. I had to actually sniffle, and I'm like, how do I incorporate it into the show so it's not weird? I just did that on purpose. But telling you ruined the whole surprise, so I should have just shut up. But that's okay. It's okay. I cracked the fourth wall a long time ago. So I want you to remember something from the indictment, FBI. I want to just reread count number, or charge number 36 in the indictment. It's all whatever. They note that McGonigal informed the DOJ prosecutor about a potential new